question about setting up a business page on Facebook. The difference between a personal page and a business page. Okay. One of the things is when you log on to Facebook personally, you can manage business pages, you can create business pages, but when you create a business page, when you log in personally, just know this, forever you will be married to that business page. There's no way anybody can divorce you from that page. So if you sell your business, and they say, well, we want your Facebook account, and we want you off of it, well, you can't do that because you're married to that. You're married to that Facebook page. And really, it's very strange that Facebook set it up that way, but that's Facebook, and Facebook does not have a telephone number. You can't call them and complain. Your best bet is to set up a key. Okay, set up a duplicate Facebook account, and then set up your business page. And then if you should you sell your business, you can hand it off. One of the biggest problems I encounter when companies call me up and they're having issues, and they want me to come in and consult with them, is that they had a social media employee, he set up a Facebook page, and now he's gone, they have no idea how to access anything, they can't get access to it. And chances are, that person set it up incorrectly and set it up under their personal account, and all of a sudden they're forever married to it. I was like, you got to start over from scratch. That's painful. That's a painful process. Because all of a sudden, you lose all that authority you've been building up over the year. You lose all your followers. You got to start from scratch. It's always best to set it up right the first time. If it's a personal business that, you know, if you're selling your own services, you're never going to sell yourself, really. Then it's okay. You can set up your personal account and you set up your business page. That's all. That's good. Okay. But your personal page you use for your personal stuff. When you go onto the business page, you post your business. It's completely separate. Some people are under the mindset, well, I don't want people seeing anything about me. Well, they can't, as long as you have everything locked down in your account. Okay, nobody can see anything about you. When you post for a business, it's seamless. Okay, it looks like it's coming from the business, not from you personally. So you could have 5 admins on one business page on Facebook, and it all looks like it's just coming from the business. They don't know there are 5 different people posting. Okay, so I hope that answered the question a little bit. Okay, very good. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about advertising on Facebook. Okay, promoting yourself on Facebook, and advertising on LinkedIn. Okay, it's 2 different sets of value propositions, Facebook and LinkedIn. We are going to touch on Facebook first. Okay, I'm clicking on create an ad. Okay, the value proposition of advertising on Facebook is branding. Okay, there's 2 different concepts when you're looking to advertise your business. Okay, there's branding, which is throwing your name out there so everybody can see it. People can get to know who you are. Okay, restaurants rely heavily on branding. You open up a restaurant, nobody knows who you are. You want to get your name out there to people. You set up an advertisement on Facebook. You can put an ad in a 10-mile radius. You can target different demographics like man or woman, age groups, or even likes. Okay. If you're a yoga studio, you might want to advertise to people who are health conscious, who like fitness, who like yoga. Okay, you can really narrow that market down. Okay, that's branding. That's getting your name out there. The narrow market is something different. The narrow market concept of advertising is when you do an ad on Google. Okay, when you do a pay-per-click campaign on Google. They are only showing your ad for people who are actively searching for your services. That is a customer who needs you now. That is called the narrow market. And you're only advertising to them. So Facebook is branding, search engine marketing, okay, SEM. That's the narrow market. Okay? Search engine marketing is where you calculate your return on investment. You showed our ad so many times, so many people saw it. How many people came to the website? How many new customers do we get? It's all math. Okay? The reason why Google and Facebook are going to own the entire planet. Okay? Joke, Google's already got satellites in space. They know I'm here right now. Sure, they don't care I'm here, but they know I'm here.
They know your house too.
They know my house. They know where I live. Okay? They know where I go. They know my shopping habits. They know my searching habits. They know everything.
Your banking habits?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they are appalled right now. No.
But what they're putting in everybody's house, they're going to everybody's house and putting some kind of chips.
No.
No, only in our bodies.
Not today.
Well, my house is well stocked with Lay's and Fritos when you talk about chips and houses. All right, so advertising on Facebook. Value proposition is branding. Okay, what can we use it for? We can use it to fuel traffic to a website. Okay, we can use it to get more fans, more likes on your Facebook page. Okay, so here we are, we're looking at an ad we're putting together for Authentic Shaolin Kung Fu. Okay, now over here we see our reach. Okay, 155 million people right now.
What, in Facebook?
Yep, we're advertising, that's our potential reach. We're not going to reach every single one of those people. But what we also want to do is we want to narrow it down, because people from California aren't going to come over to New York for a martial arts class, okay? So what we want to do is we want to go down here, and we can do by city. We do Holtzville, New York. We do a 10-mile radius. Okay? All of a sudden, our audience just got narrowed down. Okay? Now, if we wanted to do it even further, we type in an interest. Okay? Martial arts. People are interested in martial arts. $20 people. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So what we've done is we've effectively narrowed it down to people who like martial arts. Now we can tailor an ad specific to that category. Like martial arts? Come check out our school. Okay. Those 20 people are very likely candidates to be a student if they enjoy martial arts. And we can add different keywords in there. Maybe they like kung fu. Okay. You know, with restaurants, if you're, let's say, you're a Mexican restaurant that you just opened up, people who like Mexican food, if they say they like it on Facebook, oh gee, you know what? Come down and try our food. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, so you're branding. Now we could put an ad campaign together for them to go down to the school. We can put an ad campaign together for them to like the Facebook page, and you start building up your followers. And these are, you know, these are quality people that you want to follow. Okay, those 20 people, you know, if they like martial arts, geez, they should be following my page, because I talk about martial arts a lot. I'm a martial arts expert, et cetera, et cetera. And those are good people to have on the page, because they will promote my school, because they like martial arts. They talk about martial arts. Scroll down even further. We can narrow the age group down. Okay, we can target just men or women. If you're a women's gym opening up, do you want to advertise to the guys, to the dudes? No, I don't think so. But you can advertise strictly to the women. Okay, you can narrow those demographics down. If it's something like a laser taggery, I don't think the age 60 to 70 bracket is really good. You never know. You're very active now, but chances are you want to target it towards a younger audience. And after we go down here, we fill out our headline, what the ad's going to say, the text. We can put a new image in, or we can use a default image that we have. Okay. The landing page, you can specify specific pages for it to land on or a specific web address. Okay, you go down here and you put your budget in. How much am I going to spend on this? Okay, you set your daily budget, how much you want to spend each day, and you'll see approximately how many clicks you get. So it's, probably for a martial arts school, I would say, the average cost per click, depending on the keywords, is going to be anywhere from about 75 cents a click to maybe a couple bucks. Okay, it's very inexpensive to advertise online. Okay, when you look at it compared to traditional mediums that were out there, apparently I've heard they still exist, like newspapers. Has anybody ever heard of newspapers? Magazines, television ads. They used to have these, like, they were called radios, and apparently they played music, and they had shows, and here on Long Island, you get a radius, and you advertise to the fish out in the sound, because that's the radius reached out to the ocean, and you paid for that radius, but I don't know. But those mediums were traditionally very expensive. Okay, they were branding. They were very non-targeted. Here, you can brand and can be a little bit more targeted. Okay? The same way I just set up an ad here on Facebook, I can set up an ad on LinkedIn. There's a key difference between advertising on LinkedIn and Facebook, and that's going to be your target. Okay? With LinkedIn, you can target CEOs, CFOs, CTOs, doctors. Okay? Somebody has a specific title that you want to advertise out to. So in the example of the business-to-business world, okay, a financing company that does special financing in the medical industry, for doctors who have practices, they need to do a branding campaign, because a doctor in California doesn't know of their services, and they could use them, They could utilize their financing. So what they do is they'll put out an ad campaign specifically towards doctors, to people that run the doctor's offices. I can't remember the titles off the top of my head. They could do it for pediatricians. They could do it to a dentist, and they can tailor the ad. Special rates for loan rates for dentists. Expand your practice. Call us and find out how. If you don't get paid, we don't get paid. Those type of things, those type of call to actions. So LinkedIn, same value proposition, branding, okay? And you can have that ad land on your web page on a specific form for them to fill out, so you can capture their information. Okay, and the main core value proposition is a business-to-business type scenario. When you need to target somebody with a specific title, if you need to target people within the computer industry, the auto industry, medical, attorneys, okay? Everybody has to list their profession and what they do in their history, and LinkedIn knows this. Okay? Now I did a very broad overview of both the advertising concepts on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Okay, they're very in-depth. There's something called the expanded network on LinkedIn. And there is something to be said about having a paid account on LinkedIn. Okay, a lot of people say, what's the difference if I pay them money or if I'm just on it for free? Well, if you pay them money, you get access to a little bit more detailed analytics as far as who's looked at your site, who's examined your Facebook page. There's a lot of different value propositions there. Those are the advertising opportunities that exist on Facebook and LinkedIn. There are different ones on different sites. You can monetize a blog very easily. If you get a lot of people going to the blog, it's very easy to turn on monetization. What that does is Google reads your blog. They don't actually sit there and physically read it. The computer reads it. And they'll put a relevant ad next to the side of it. If somebody clicks through on it, you know what? Google's give you a little bit of share of the called share the wealth. All of a sudden, every month you get like a check to your PayPal account for 25 cents or $2,500, depending on how many people are clicking through on those ads. And with that, I'm going to be opening up the floor to questions. So we'll start off with.
All these things that you kind of showed us in the videos, the YouTube videos, it has a bunch of videos on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And with Facebook and with LinkedIn, you're exposing, and I realize with Facebook and LinkedIn you can shut it down, but you're exposing of your competition to your clientele, it seems to me. And with the videos, you post a video up and start showing, I posted a training video up once, and then all sorts of other people's training videos started streaming down the side.
Correct.
So you kind of,
You're
how do you feel about it?
facilitating information now, okay? The way we get our information is much different than the way we got it even 10 years ago, okay? So yes, you're out there and you are competing with your own competition. Your competition can even like your Facebook page and see what's going on there. It's on unscrupulous competitions. We'll make a post on your own Facebook wall, on your business page. Hey, come try us out instead. Well, hopefully you'll X them and say, block them from utilizing your Facebook wall. But that can happen, does happen. Do I see any of my clients or do I worry about it? No, not at all, okay? You have to be confident in what you're doing and why you're doing it, okay? There's different statistics to see how deep people search, how many click-throughs, like people go onto different videos. And it's fairly interesting, but it's not something that I get overly concerned of. Some people will say, well, you know what, I don't even want to be in that pool because of that. Because then my competition will see what I'm doing and they'll mimic me. It's like, well, let them. You have to be confident in what you're doing. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot because they will start doing social media and they will start getting your customers because you're not playing the catch-up game. Okay? I equate it to like the businesses way back in the day said, hey, we don't need a phone in here. People know we're a pizza place. What are they gonna call me and ask me what I'm doing? It's that type of thing. Now you need these tools. You need this is part of the set of the business. It's not your entire business. It's a puzzle piece for success. Yes, ma'am.
Just going back to Facebook and the personal and business pages. Now I have a personal page on Facebook, and I'm going to want to open up a business page. Do I try to keep the personal page sort of like almost a little bit on the duplicative side? Will people hit both of them in terms of advertising?
You have a Facebook page and you have a business page.
Well, I don't have a business page.
This is what I would recommend.
Yeah.
You create another Facebook account. Think of it as the keys to the car. And through that duplicate personal account, you create your business account. Now on your personal page, okay, you make your own, the personal page that you use a lot, an admin on that. Okay, so you're just on your regular Facebook, you can switch over to the business page, post about the business, go back and forth. When it comes time, if you ever want to sell your business, okay, and you want to sell the Facebook account along with it, because companies are now adding value to their sale price of their business based upon how many people are following their Facebook page. Because they say, hey, this is built-in marketing. I'm selling you my Facebook page too. I can sell this for I can sell my business for an extra $10,000, whatever it might be, because I have this. So what you'd want to do is you want to make sure those keys are separate, and then you can pass it along to somebody. Here's all the master logins.
Thank you.
Gentleman in the green shirt.
Of the 20 people who are interested in martial arts, is there any way of knowing if that is the employees and owners of your competition?
Yes, there is. That's an excellent question. There is a way that we can target people who are not already affiliated with your page. So when you're getting new likes, you can put out an ad there that will target people who are not already affiliated. So yes, there are ways to do that. It's very good. It's actually, I don't know if it's even up there. It'll be right up in here. You just check it off. It's like a little checkbox. Let's see. Yes, sir.
The amount of impressions you get, does that change with how many clicks that go to your site? Because I've noticed when we've done ads that you'll get a lot of clicks, or a lot of impressions, but if you have less clicks, your impressions on the page go down.
Oh, wait a second. So you're saying when you do an ad,
A targeted ad.
if you do a targeted ad on Facebook, you get a lot of impressions on the ad.
You get a bunch of impressions at first, and if you don't get clicks, the amount of impressions go down. So does it depend? So it depends on how many clicks you
You know,
get.
what will typically happen, when you set up a Facebook campaign, there are two ways you can actually set it up. On a cost per click, a CPC method, or cost per impression. And generally, 9 times out of 10, the cost per click method is the way to go. Because you'll get a lot more impressions, and they're gonna show it as many times, so they can drive that click through, so Facebook will collect their money
That's
and
what I
become
used.
richer.
That's what I had used. But
Yeah.
it was getting less impressions after the initial amount of clicks to the targeted audience. So it eventually stops.
No, it doesn't. They show it just enough times to drive the amount of click-throughs to meet your budget. That's what they'll do every single time. And it really depends. Okay, it really depends on, you know, a lot of different things. The call to action you have on the ad, you know, the imagery, you know, what you're saying to the people, and who you're targeting. There are a lot of different factors. But generally, for the most part, you want to use a cost per click method. You're going to get the most bang for your buck, and you're assured to drive traffic wherever you're driving traffic to, whether it be a website or your Facebook page.
Thank you.
Next question. Gentleman in the light blue shirt.
Earlier you were speaking about meta tagging images and video. My understanding was that you had to meta tag because Google doesn't crawl images but not words. Is that no longer true?
No, when I talk about meta tagging and tagging a photo, okay, like on Flickr or on Picasa, there's a specific section that the spiders crawl. Okay, telling you they're looking to see what the picture is about. Okay, they obviously, the spiders don't have eyeballs. They can actually look at the picture and see everybody's pretty faces. They need to know what's going on in the picture. The way to do it is by tagging. Okay. So, and the same goes with the video. Although they actually have programs that actually watch the videos now. And there are some programs that look at photos, but they don't look and see exactly what's going on. They're programmed for a specific function, which I mean they look pretty. Some person invented a program that could scan pictures and just pull out all the naked ones. And I'm sure he used it personally, and then all of a sudden realized he could make $1 billion off it and sold it to a bunch of companies that don't want to do pictures on their sites. So, but that's pretty much it. Those tags are just for the search engines. Yes, sir.
Are the protocols for the way these ads appear the same for LinkedIn and Facebook? For example, newspapers, I'm not good at exactly the same, like their ads around news stories, and you pay more for the first page.
No.
That kind of, does this work that same?
No, there's no hierarchy. It's not a classified advertising section, is what you're referring to, where you pay more to be on top. Just like when you do pay Google. You know what, listen, I'm having trouble with my optimization. I want to come up when people look for my services. So you pay them money and they'll put you up, they'll drive the click-throughs that you're paying for. This is different. They have different algorithms and they show it to people who are most likely to click on it throughout their history. So when you search and you say, hey, listen, I don't see my ad coming up, well, you don't want to come up in front of yourself anyway. You will get the click-throughs, and the rhyme and reason, it's all a complex Facebook or LinkedIn algorithm. Next question. Yes, ma'am.
When you're setting up the business page in Facebook, if you already have a personal page, when you're entering the information for your business, so you have a business name, and then you enter in your name and your email address, does it automatically connect to your personal page if you have this, like you're using the same name?
No, but it will link you by email address. Like for my personal page, I have my personal email address. My business page, my business accounts, I'm using my business email address. We have it set up different.
Okay.
That's how generally you'd wanna keep them separate, and that's how Facebook links everybody together, is by email addresses. Yes, ma'am?
I set up Facebook, but I use my business email. It's still linked to my personal account. Is it because I use the same
Yes.
computer?
Oh, wait, you.
I use my business email, but
Uh-huh.
it's still acknowledged that I had a personal Facebook account, and somehow the number two of them. I can look at my business account, my
Uh-huh.
business Facebook page, and I don't see my personal information. When I look at my personal page, my business one comes up on the side.
Yes.
So
That's
is that
because when you're,
considered
well,
linked?
that's because when you're an admin of an account, even if you didn't set it up under your own personal account, and you're just an admin, I can always see like all the companies that I manage, I can always see it on the left-hand side. I always see what's going on, I've got alerts set up, everything else. That's because I'm an admin, okay? So even if your personal is an admin, you're gonna see everything. When you go up to that page, it's seamless that you'll be posting on behalf of the business, and then you can go right back to your personal page.
So I could sell that page separately, then it isn't actually linked up, then, just because I'm an admin.
And
Correct.
she only sees that, the public, does the public see that?
Public doesn't see it. Public, they would have no knowledge of that.
No, they don't.
Right. Yes, ma'am?
So now when you set up your new business page, your new
Uh-huh.
business account,
Yes.
how do you now start to get the likes and, because, how do you begin to generate that? And let's say if you're making it engaging, how are you getting people to come there? Do you have to do the ads in order to get them to come there?
That is an excellent question. There are different methods that you can use to get new likes, okay? There is the easy and fast way. You pay somebody some money. There are services out there. You pay me money. I will take your money. And what they'll do is they'll promote through an internal network out to people they'll make offers and people to like certain things. And then all of a sudden you're getting a whole bunch of people like it. I could add 500 followers onto a Facebook page within a month, easily. And all it takes for me is just a few clicks. But the people you're getting aren't targeted. People from all over. You're having bodies for bodies' sake on your page, okay? There is the slow and steady method, okay? Now some businesses that utilize constant contact, what I recommend is once a quarter, send out an invite to follow you on Facebook, Twitter, all your social media, whatever social medias you're utilizing, okay? And those are quality people. Those are people you want to be engaging. Those are people going to help promote your business. Those are people going to help grow your business, increase your business. Okay? There's the advertising line, like we just did, where we find targeted people. People should be like this. I mean, they might not know about us yet, but by golly, if they like martial arts, if they like kung fu films, whatever it might be, they should be following us. And you advertise it, and you pay for it. Okay? And then there's always asking to follow. That means on your business card. Even if you have a Facebook icon on it, you can't push it and go to Facebook page on a business card. Business cards don't work that way. But they know that you're participating. Like when everybody says, hey Tom, we want to follow your splash page on Facebook. Okay, pretty much tell them, okay, go to www.facebook.com//splash_. Or I can just say, go to my website and click on the link, you'll be able to follow it. You always want to fuel the traffic to your website. Have all the links up there, and send everybody there. Hey, listen, we want to follow you on Twitter. Great, go to my website, click on the Twitter link, you're there. It's done, it's easy. Always be asking for it. Always, when you send out emails, I mean, you see some people have their signature on their email, and underneath it, you put a Facebook icon, a Twitter icon, a YouTube icon, whatever icon you want to put under there. But that will help promote it also. Always be asking for it. Great question. Yes?
How effective is, I know different markets are different, but how effective is advertising on Facebook or LinkedIn, you know?
For branding, extremely effective. Okay?
So your return on investment is good.
For branding, it's very tough to measure your ROI. There are ways to do it, okay? But you have to be realistic, okay? When you look at branding, let's take a medium like newspaper, okay? You put an ad in the newspaper. How long does that ad run? Maybe a weekend to set it up for? Maybe you'll run it for the entire week, okay? Nobody can tell you at the newspaper. They can tell you their subscription base. They can't tell you how many people actually went to that page. There's no accountability for that. They can't tell you how many people saw your ad. And they can't tell you how many people who saw your ad are in the market for your product or whatever you're selling or your services. They can't tell you how many times your ad helps train the puppy. Okay? What you paid for. Okay? That's the only time I buy paper is when I get a puppy. But on Facebook, you can take that branding campaign, spend a lot less, get a lot more, and you get a lot more targeted. Listen, I only want to show it to females. I only want to show it to people like this. I only want to show it to accountants. Okay? So your branding campaign, when you look at any type of business mix and advertising budget, you want to take advantage of the narrow market. People are actively seeking for your services and get in front of them. You also want to let people know about your business. Okay? You also want to be branded. That is a good business mix when it comes to advertising. So yes, Facebook and LinkedIn do branding advertising more effectively than anybody else. When people are looking to brand, Facebook, LinkedIn. People are looking to increase their business, I mean more sales. Okay? We look at search engine marketing, because that's what people are typing in exactly what they're looking for. Great question. Yes, ma'am.
As far as putting those, the Facebook and Twitter on your website, should it be on like your homepage, like way up at the top? Would that be a good place for it, or?
That is an excellent place. There are studies that have shown what is the most valuable real estate on your website. Okay. Usually I put it out for people to take a guess, but I'll actually just give you the answer. Is the top left-hand corner is the most valuable real estate. Reason being, here in America, we read from left to right, top to bottom. Okay? So you want to make sure it's viewable. I recommend putting the links at the top. I recommend people putting their business telephone number, so it's always at the top.
Okay.
Whenever somebody wants to reach out and contact you, you don't want to have them to look for it. So having a separate page with social links, I don't like that. I've seen other people do it. You do whatever you want with the website. Based on my experience, based upon looking at analytics of websites, I don't do that. Always keep the telephone number at the top. Always keep your links, your permanent social links at the top. Some people say, I'd rather at the bottom because I want to keep people on the website. Once I get them there, well, then that's a sound strategy also. Yes?
On LinkedIn, I'm on it, but I don't know if I'm on there with my name, and then it links me to my, and then you get all the information about my business. Is there a way that you're supposed to put your business on there?
Yes, there's a process to go through to add a business. And sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's not. You have to utilize a business email address. You have to utilize, your tom@socialmarketing.com. You can use a personal email address. And then there's a verification process. And then you have your business up on there. Then you start posting, adding pictures and stuff. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you said the best real estate is the top left, but what about when it comes to like history, mission statement, facts, contact me, and sitemap? Usually that's like all.
That's usually on a separate page.
Not the home page?
Yeah, it's not on the home page. You'll have your navigation menu. Okay? When you reach your home page, you want to keep the home page clear, cut, short. I know this isn't about social media, but very quickly, the reason why Google became so big is because they had a very clean page versus Yahoo, and they trounced Yahoo, and now they're dominant. When people are ready to read about something, and they click on a mission statement, now they're ready to read about a mission statement. When they want to read about your service, they click on it, then they're ready to read about it. You keep your homepage clear to the point, and don't overload people on the homepage or you get a high drop-off rate. Yes, ma'am?
Foursquare, is that another type of Facebook, or is that?
Foursquare is a location-based social site. You download an app onto your smartphone that has GPS capability. And when you walk into a place, you can check in, okay? And when you check in, it shares it on all your other social networks. You can share it on Facebook, you can tweet it out. But it's basically just telling your friends, I'm here, this is what I'm doing. And it's also a recommendation, it's a word of mouth recommendation. I'm eating at this restaurant. Oh, Tom's eating there, he's trying it out, maybe I should try it out. Because Tom only eats at great restaurants.
How do you support Square? F4 and then Square?
F-O-U-R-S-Q-U-A-R-E.
Oh, that's the way you go?
Yep, yep. Just go there, go onto your smartphone, download the app. What other questions? Yes, ma'am.
When you're a new business just starting out and you want to get onto all of these little social medias that you were talking about, how often should you be posting in the beginning to
Excellent
really
question.
get it out there?
Excellent question. There's a minimum that you want to be doing. A minimum of once per week. You can post as much as you like. At some point though, okay, people are going to stop listening. Just like spam. Okay? If there's a company that makes 7 posts a day and it's always coming up in my feed, I'm going to stop listening. Me personally, I'll take the time to take them out of my something called edge algorithm. I'll take them out of that, and I won't see them, but I'll still like them. But most people will just end up not liking it. But I'm going to stop following this page because that's the easiest way to do it on Facebook, and they don't want to hear from them anymore. So depending on your industry, it's a careful balance. That's why you have to look at the analytics every time you're making posts. If all of a sudden your posts start dropping down because you're making 7 in a day, and you know what, maybe we should make it a little bit more concise, tighten it up. Other ones, other industries, some people in the entertainment industry, they can post as much as they want. It's all gold for them. Yeah, it's all gold. That was a great question. Next question. What else got? Yes, ma'am.
Blogging. Do you need to get a separate domain for a blog, or you go to blog.com and find something?
No, you can go to a blogger. You can go to blogger.com. That's the Google-owned blog. You can set up a blog as long as you put your web address in there. There's a section in your About You. You put the web address. That's going to tell Google that that blog belongs to that web address. And on your website, make sure you have a link over to your blog. That's called reciprocal linking. Okay? And you want to make sure that it's able to tell. Some people include it on their website itself. You don't have to get a separate URL. You can if you want, if you're really promoting yourself as an expert and you want, you know, Tom Peterson's super blog. You can put that up there. I don't know why you named it after me, but you know, as long as you have the links in there, you're good. That'll tell Google, that'll tell all the search engines that that blog belongs to this website. Yes?
And now, how do you get people to see your blog? You know, let's say you don't have a lot of likes on your Facebook.
That's an interesting question. Some people will say, listen, I don't get very many people seeing my blog. Well, that's okay, I don't, because the spiders are crawling it every day. Okay? The spiders are looking for updates. So if no one even reads the blog or sees it, we still do it because it weighs so heavily in that equation of social reporting. Okay? You want to be keeping that in there. Okay? Now, you know, as you go along, you might start getting more views. You start by, you know, building up. You might want to blog more. You might want to monetize your blog. There are a lot of different things you can do. And you promote it the same way you promote your social networks. Always be asked. Like that, the Kung Fu website, you know, have a blogger link right onto it, link over to the blog. I mean, if you sit down and read the blog, you know, it's negligible, but still, it helps move him up to where he wasn't coming up. Now he's coming up all the time. Yes?
When you're blogging, what is a good size for a blog? A paragraph, 2 paragraphs, a sentence?
That can depend on your target, okay, your type of business. And people around in the entertainment industry can blog a little bit more. If you're doing something specific that's very detail oriented in the technology industry, okay, you might want to keep it detailed and concise because that's what your market is looking for. I'm looking for specs. I'm looking to see how this works, how this algorithm is written out. They want to know those things. Some businesses, like local business owners, they might keep it very short to at least just a couple of paragraphs, okay? That would be a minimum, okay? So you have information on there, search engines can discover it, and when somebody reads it, it might be something helpful for them. Like a restaurant we had, we used to post up like recipes. We read a little bit about the recipe, where it came from. This came from my grandmother over in Ireland, and this is how she makes pizza. You know, whatever it is. Irish pizza. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Does it matter which type of blogger you use? Like if you're saying blogger
No.
on Google, or if you're doing it internally, it'll give you the same credits?
Yeah, it'll give you the same weight. You know, WordPress or Blogger. I personally set up my clients with a Blogger account because it is owned by Google. Even though nobody has any direct evidence, everybody speculates within the industry that it gets picked up a lot quicker. And their tool, their back-end tool is very easy to utilize. When you're working with WordPress, you know it has a pretty decent interface. You are working with cascading style sheets generally. If you're comfortable working with CSS, then hey, that's great too if you want to incorporate that onto your site. You know, it really depends on all you're comfortable with or working with. If it's not directly embedded on your site, as long as the reciprocal link is there, you can figure it out. They'll know that this blog belongs to this website. What else? Another question? Yes?
What's the best way to deal with critics on these sites? Like, everyone can have an opinion, they can like something, or they can just as well not like either a picture of something.
Negative press, that's a great question. When dealing with any type of negativity that comes up on the social media, that comes up on like maybe your Facebook page, a negative review on Yelp is a good example. What you want to do is you want to take the high road. Let's say if it's somebody who ate at Yelp and they didn't like the burger or whatever, they said the burger was cold, gave it 4 stars. Well, you know what, if somebody responds, if you come across that review on its own, oh, they make cold burgers there, I don't want to eat there, I like my burgers nice and hot. But if you come across the review and the owner or the manager or somebody from the business responds, hey, listen, this isn't typically how we make burgers. You know, I apologize that it wasn't, you know, up to our standards. I invite you to come back in and talk to the manager. We're going to take care of it. You know, come back in and we'll give you another burger, whatever it might be. And all of a sudden, if I come across that and I see that the restaurant cares enough to respond to that review, okay, then that's going to make me want to eat there more. So then they turn that negative review into a positive, a plus, to bring people in. Now, negative posts on a Facebook page, okay, depends. You can turn it around, you can address it, you know, respond, take the high road, say, listen, we apologize, we aren't perfect, okay? If it's inappropriate, there are inappropriate posts, there are inappropriate comments, there are inappropriate reviews. Okay? For Yelp, there's a process that you have to go to have a review removed, saying it is inappropriate, it's not relevant to the review site. If it's inappropriate on a Facebook page or someplace else, someplace public, typically what I'll do is I'll take it down and I'll send a response to the person who posted it and explain why I took it down. Say, listen, we didn't feel this was inappropriate dialogue. Okay? You know, if it was something negative, like a negative review, that's kind of appropriate. I tell business owners, it's an opportunity, because you're going to learn something. We can tell everybody else how much we can. But if it's strictly inappropriate, I'll take it down. I'll say, listen, I removed the post. Here's the reason why I did it, and you know, engage them on a one-to-one basis. Great question. Yes.
How do you remove a post from Facebook?
From Facebook? When you're an admin on the page, you can go right down and can remove a post. You can also do it personally too. I've removed comments off some of the photographs because I felt they were inappropriate.
There's a delete button?
Yeah, and when you click off, you can send a message to the person automatically that'll say the reason why. You tell them, hey, listen, I deleted your comment because, you know, I think it was just kind of stupid, dumb, whatever you want to put. But you can tell them the reason why you deleted it. Yes.
When you're writing a blog, say, do you have to put it in a question form for people, say, how to, like,
Your blog can be about anything.
I mean, when you title the, do you have to?
No,
give a
you can
specific
title it. You can be very creative, be as creative as you want with the title.
I mean, if I have, say, for instance, it's just Lightfoot Artistry, it's the name of my blog, but the topic, is it like,
Okay, so I think I get what you're going with. As far as, you know, how you want to title the blog, how it gets picked up,
right.
the questions you want to put in there. Are they the same questions somebody might type into a search engine?
Right.
And so you want to come up a little bit more. So yeah, you want to include those keywords in there, whatever it's about. And when you write up a blog, you write up the blog, there are keywords in there. You can also tag your blog, just like you tag a YouTube video or a picture on the internet. So when people are searching for, let's say if, let's say if you're a chiropractor, okay, and people are searching for how to alleviate back pain, okay, you want to have the opportunity to come up, your blog to come up also. It's just filling up that shelf space of the internet. You're really populating. So if they're asking about back pain or neck pain and you write an article on neck pain, how to manage it, that might come up. That might come up even before a website.
So how do you tag on
Each
your blog?
Each program has a section where you can actually tag a blog. It's usually included right when you're typing out the body. Usually has a section right next to it about put the tags in for the blog.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
About the blog again. Can I have a separate blog, and then would it be a good idea to duplicate that blog on Blogger? In other words, to get
No.
Google? No.
No. That is called duplicate content.
Don't do that.
Yes. Search engines frown upon duplicate content.
That's what
When you just copy word for word from something else, it hurts everybody. Yes.
Quick question you could probably answer pretty quickly. I had a personal Facebook page, and then I went to put a business one up, but experience, of course. So what it did was it has my business email address, but it still says Vicky Kirkpatrick on both of them. It's just the other one says Vicky Kirkpatrick.
Those would be the settings where you should be able to change the name.
Yeah, is there a way I can do that?
Yes, unless you've titled and taken the, it's really depends if I understand what you're talking about. Yes, there's a way that you can change like the comp URL. If you've already named it and you named it incorrectly, you might have to start over from scratch. That really has to do with that. Okay. Okay, I think that's about it.